our accounting systems are completely snarled up. He said, according to our latest estimate, we cannot account for, he said, $2.6 trillion in transactions, he said. And then he added, if that's believable. Now he's talking to the members of Congress. And then that was amended to 2.3 trillion. So normal people listening to this would have a big moment where they go, say what? How can you lose track of 8 times your annual budget? Well, I think, not being an accountant, I've tried understanding this. And what I've come to understand is that, well, it's not that they lost all that money. And I don't see how they really could have lost all that money. Why would Rumsfeld actually say such a thing? But these are reconciliation problems. There's something like 500 or more different computerized accounting systems within the Pentagon at that time. It was an absolute mess. And so what they later claimed, this is the part that I really find funny. About a year later, they said, well, we got that number down. We've reconciled it down to about only $500 billion, so getting better. But then where they lose me is a few years after that, the Pentagon actually said they got that number down to 0. And as I commented once before, I liken that to a school kid, you know, who is a perennial F student, fails every class, and fails math yet again, and comes home to mom and dad and changes his report card from an F, not to a D or a C, but to an A. That's what we call getting greedy. If you're going to lie, why not do it a little more plausibly than say, yeah, we've resolved $2.6 trillion in transactions. But of course, obviously, someone high up in the Pentagon said, I want that number down to 0, and that's what you're going to do. But not just within the Pentagon do we find all of these financial shenanigans going on. This is an article from 2006. Discrepancies in America's accounts hide a black hole. And I'll just read a little bit here. The global financial system seems to have a black hole at its center. Over the last 2 decades, U.S. residents have sold a total of about $5.5 trillion worth of IOUs to foreigners, yet the officially recorded net investment position of the U.S. has deteriorated only by a little more than half this amount. The U.S. capital market seems to have acted like a black hole for investors from the rest of the world, in which